After the grand gestures of welcome on Monday, 24 hours later the Palestinian unity government was keen to show it was in Gaza to do business, smiling on the image of Egypt's President Sisi, the broker of this deal. Prime Minister Rami Hamdallah presided over an initial cabinet meeting, receiving reports on the humanitarian crisis and calling on Israel to ease it.
The Prime Minister has called for the siege on Gaza to be lifted and for the international community to help lift the unjust blockade. The situation in Gaza is tragic.
But many want rapid action from the new government itself. Among them, protesters who say they lost their Palestinian Authority pay without cause 10 years ago during the factional fighting.
We are victims of division. My salary has been cut since 2007. We want Hamdallah to restore our salaries because this money is for our children.
The PA has imposed more recent measures, reducing salaries to its staff and electricity supplies to the Strip, which may have succeeded in pressuring Hamas, but at a cost. A few hours power a day, for instance, isn't enough for the treatment plants to work. Each day the restrictions remain, more raw sewage pours into the Mediterranean. So far, Hamas remains publicly patient.
We were hoping. We know that not everything will be solved in the first moment, but I think now we are expecting from the government now to take more actions.
At a restaurant overlooking the sea, representatives of all Gaza's political factions sat down to lunch. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh saying the reconciliation had to work at all costs.
Well, this is just the latest display of unity between these two rival political factions over the last couple of days. So far, though, this really has been a display. What we're waiting for is to see whether this new unity government will stick, whether it can address the humanitarian crisis that still prevails here in Gaza.
Hamdallah said the magic word was, quote, the enabling of the unity government to take real power in Gaza, echoing the message of President Mahmoud Abbas, who met Egypt's security chief in the occupied West Bank earlier in the day. Abbas told Egyptian media that the restrictions on Gaza would only be lifted once it was clear the new government was fully up and running. The initial handovers of ministries did take place on Tuesday, but more might depend on the next round of talks between Fatah and Hamas in Cairo next week, aimed at further bridging 10 years of division. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, Gaza.